Okay, YouTube, it's Sunday morning, December 16th, and I said I was going to do another power stroke video, but we're going to do another video, but it won't be on the power stroke. We're going to work on making some more room. If you remember, I mentioned getting the four-wheeler out of here. That's what we're doing. And I found a place for it. Keeping it out of the weather, I was very tempted to park it outside and cover it up, maybe put it in the old black truck bed on top of the trailer, drive it up on some ramps, but I think it'd be a lot better if we stuffed it in there. And it's been in here before. I used to keep it parked this away whenever I went racing and whenever I went to a quarter-mile track. And you definitely need some kind of moped or four-wheeler when you go to quarter-mile track. But we had a bunch of the truck parts stuffed in here, the fenders and tailgate stuff. I moved some stuff around, rearranged it, did some stacking, and we're going to sweep this dirty old floor off and maybe do a couple cold starts. I'm not sure on the cold starts yet, but it is such a nice day. I think it's a good day to get a little bit of stuff that needs to be done outside while we can. This is winter time, remember? Yeah, it's 59 in here right now. It's only 11:30, so yeah, it's going to be a pretty warm day. Okay, let me sweep that floor out and we'll drive this thing up on the ramps in here. Alright, YouTube, a little surprise for this video. We're going to try to start this thing up. It hasn't been started since March of this year. I believe I started up in March of 2012. So it's time to start it. Check the oil and it's looking a little dirty. It's moisture from sitting. Probably should change the oil before I start it, but it's going to be sitting almost as much longer. I decided to start it up, get a little heat in it, and get that moisture out of the oil. And the fuel is old too, 2-year-old fuel. I can't really smell it. Racing fuel seems to last quite a while. But yeah, we took the batteries out of the Power Stroke. I think I'm going to leave them in here. And we'll go get some new batteries for the Power Stroke. Yeah, there they are there. Just did that. First thing I need to do, since it has been sitting so long, is turn on the fuel pump. Check for fuel leaks. And we'll make sure everything's lighting up and stuff like that. First we will, excuse the close-ups on the camera there. First we'll check the starter. That's working. Okay, she's turning a little slow. The battery should probably use a fresh charge. I see ignition. You see the tach moving. Fuel pumps. She's up. I hear the fan and water pump turning. Those are lights. They're working. Let's go ahead and turn this, oops, wrong one, fuel pump back on. Let it build up some pressure and we'll check for leaks. Okay, first place you want to check for leaks whenever you had a race car sitting for so long with the electric fuel pump is go back here to the tank. That pump has built up pressure. We see nothing dripping out. See no filter hanging out there. Yes, I know I have little bitty skinny tires on there. Anybody who watched my other videos of this car know that I did that for storage. The 14 by 32 inch, 14 inch wide but 32 inch tall slicks are in the basement. Whenever I store the car for the winter, or in this case a much longer period, the slicks stay inside. It's not good for them to be in freezing weather. When you're a bracket racer, you're picky about stuff like that. Okay, I'm not smelling any fuel. Yes, oh yeah, we do have a leak around the around the throttle shaft. It's a pretty, I don't understand why it would be leaking there though. Okay, here we go. Looks like Okay, I'm seeing a drip there, but like I said, it makes no sense. That's a shame. I don't really want to start it like that for sure. Alright. Hang on a minute. Alright, we're going to go ahead and see if we can't find this leak. I tried a few simple fixes that I can do without pulling the carburetor off, and they did not do it. So, we'll go ahead and pull this thing off. Let's see, we've already disconnected the throttle cable, and that. You put the camera on the other side. Before I break the carburetor loose, I'm going to go ahead and undo my fuel lines. I really like these Russell fittings. Make it really nice when you're in a hurry to get your carburetor off. I really wasn't expecting to have to do this, but you know what? It's my fault for letting this car sit this long without starting it. But I started it every now and then. I already unhooked that one. Got a little bit of fuel leaking out. That'll evaporate by the time I'm done. Hopefully, I'm pretty sure I do, I'll have the gaskets to fix it. I've got an old box of carburetor parts. Every time you rebuild one, you get a lot of spares. But really, this carburetor will need a new kit in it before I go racing, but we need to get our truck done first. And even though I shouldn't be playing with this and I should be working on a truck, it was just such a warm day. And you see how the video started out. I just wanted to make some more room in the garage, and I figured I'd do a cold start while it was nice outside. Now we got a leak, and it's bothering me that I can't start it, even though I haven't started it since March. You know how that goes. But yeah, this is kind of a nice break from all the work I've been doing on the truck, though. I really miss fooling with this old thing. It never was a lot of trouble when I raced it, though. It was as far as race cars go, it really was low maintenance compared to other race cars. Kept everything simple on it. It's a foot brake car, all that. But this was supposed to have been moving stuff around in the garage and maybe a couple cold starts type video. Now it's turning into a repair video on a 1050 Dominator. Now I think, let's see, I have a vacuum hose. Yes, my race car has a vacuum hose. Not many do, but this transmission does not have a manual valve body. It has a, I think it was TCI kit, the kind that gives you a big book with all kinds of things to do, and drilling holes and clutch drums and all kinds of cool stuff. But it's got 3 different stages to it as far as the kit goes on how aggressive your transmission is. And with this kit, you don't do a manual valve body. And I like that because this transmission will shift in drive. If I had a kick down on it, I could probably tune it to where I could race it in drive and be more consistent with my shifts. But, okay, let's get this. We're going to find a clean area to work on this carburetor. Alright, we're going to remove this back bowl and see if I have some gaskets for it. Got the carburetor sitting on a wooden block so it doesn't lay on the 2 throttle arms here. A lot of people don't think it's a very good idea to do that. Hard on throttle shaft, whatever. You can make a little stand out of bolts. I don't really have the time, want to take the time to do that right now. Have the time, just don't want to take the time. Put it that way. Now, I need to find, I had a socket to fit those. I bet I left it in the garage. Tripping over stuff. Alright, we found our socket. First thing I want to do is drain the float bowl. So I do it. I usually use a spray paint can cap that usually will hold a bowl full. If I got it, I'm going to replace all the gaskets. I'm pretty sure I do have them all. If this doesn't hold them all, I'll just put this bolt back in and Just the right amount. Okay, it's going to overflow a little bit. I got a can of pump gas right in here, which I will get out of here before I fire up this car. Just pour this racing fuel in there. It's not cheap stuff. I hate to pour it on the ground. Then all them green people don't like that. No. But they'd rather pick on little guys like me for violating whatever green codes they have, while rich businessmen with giant factories do whatever they want. All they do is give them a little money. All of a sudden you don't have to be green if you give them enough money. It's kind of funny, isn't it? There we go. Got that. Could have been a number of things leaking. I'm suspecting it's probably this, the accelerator pump, the rear one. But it could also have been the bowl gasket, bottom of it, so I'm going to replace it all. See what happens. Okay, I doubt it's these. These are the good nylon ones. And they look in pretty good shape. I'm pretty sure it wasn't coming out of here. Yeah, you don't want to see this. These are the good gaskets. I'm tempted to do just that rear accelerator pump, because yeah, these are the good gaskets that you're supposed to be able to remove and all that. Yeah, well, one of them looks squeezed really bad. I think if I have them, in case you're wondering what these are jet extenders. They press over the back of your rear jets, and what it does, it's supposed to prevent a hesitation. Sometimes when a car launches really hard, all the fuel splashes towards the back, and these jets could possibly suck a little air. And these jet extenders kind of keep that opening where it can still suck in some fuel, and the fuel gets pushed back. Okay, I got a screwdriver somewhere. Wanting to pry this off. Things are seated on here pretty good. There's usually a place where I can get to it. I don't want to flip the carburetor upside down. I still have fuel in my front bow. But since it wasn't leaking, I'm not going to fool with it. Of course, I will go ahead. Wow, that really doesn't want to come off there. Okay, I got me a sharpened putty knife. I've already got it started. There it goes. If I mess up this gasket and I don't have any, we'll have to continue this video on another day. Yeah, we kind of messed it up. Gaskets could have been dry, so I'm going to go ahead and metering plate gasket, float hole gasket. These are the reusable gaskets. Like, this thing's been together for so long. There's my power. My power valve is blocked off on this. Most drag cars, people who race nothing but quarter mile or eighth mile strip, block them off. It's just one less thing to go wrong. Actually, you don't really need a power valve in dragger. Some applications do, but my particular one doesn't, and I don't have a wrench in here to fit this, so I'll have to go get one. Maybe I do. Nope. No, I do not. I grabbed every wrench but the right one. Alright, we found a wrench. It's a 1-inch wrench for the power valve. There's that. really that's all there is to it. And there is a gasket there, and that one is split in half. Probably have to take that in there to a wire wheel on my pestle grinder and clean that gasket surface. That could cause, well, that will cause fuel to drip, but not out of the bowl. We'll replace that. Now, I'm going to see if I have any gaskets. Okay, we found all of our gaskets except one, the metering plate gasket. We don't have that. I've got nothing to lose. I'm going to gamble and try it. I am pretty sure it was the accelerator pump, the diaphragm, that was leaking. Most of the time, that's the first thing that leaks when a car sets for too long. I do have a new bowl gasket though, which is right here. So, yeah, we'll throw it together and try it out. We've already wasted a big part of the day. What we got to lose? We'll go ahead and take this accelerator pump off. Now this is, I think, what they call the 50 millimeter or 50 cc or whatever accelerator pump. It's the bigger accelerator pump. Actually, this carburetor has the bigger one on both of them. I think I had, yeah. Here's the difference between your normal accelerator pump diaphragm and the bigger one, which is usually on the dominators. And some people take the regular Holley 4-barrels and upgrade to these bigger diaphragms here. Whoops. Tight. Small thumbs. There we go. Knock that loose. This may or may not have been leaky. Who knows? Can't really tell. Yeah, it's looking a little dry rotted there. It's possible. Put another one on it and see. That gasket come off good and clean at least. And we're leaking fuel everywhere. It's okay. That's the right one. Checking to make sure you can see what I'm doing with this accelerator pump on camera. Really hope this does this. Fixes it, because I would like to hear this thing run today. Okay. And we did find a new power valve gasket, or in this case, a power valve block-off gasket. Always like to, this sets, let me flip this screen around so I can make sure I am showing. You can see that little ridge going I'm sorry, I'm out of focus here. You see a little ridge right there where my fingernail is. That's where this gasket, oops, I dropped the gasket. And it's going to roll under the car. Wow, I'm dropping everything. Alright, try it again. Yeah, but yeah, that seat's right there, and this is the way I usually go around putting on. That way this gasket won't fall out of place. Well, I'm not showing it. Boy, we're messing this video up badly. Alright, as you can see, I've got that gasket sitting down on the ridge I showed you, like it's supposed to be. And I always hold it that side up and just screw it into my metering plate block like that. That way that gasket doesn't, say if you head it this way and you screwed it down, that gasket's going to fall and it could get off center a little bit of that little ledge that seats it and could cause a problem. Maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't. I gotta find a wrench. Tighten this up. 1-inch wrench for that. Alright, now, much I hate to, we're going to put this old gasket back on here. I hope that wasn't what was causing my leak. Like I said, we don't really have anything to lose. I've already kind of wasted the day. Don't really want to leave this apart because who knows when I get a chance to get back around it. Here's something else I like to do. Got some just regular petroleum jelly, Vaseline. These reusable gaskets, you can get them from Jegs or Summit. One little trick to keep them from sticking, just in case you got to tear it apart at the racetrack, rub a little Vaseline on it. They will still seat. The Vaseline will not hurt anything. You won't be clogging any passages because the gasoline will dissolve it right away. And it'll go right on through your motor and it won't hurt the thing. Old racer kind of taught me that trick when I was young and first started bracket racing. Guy used to run a super stocker. Had an all-steel car, went 637. It was a 68 Camaro 427 car. Super stocker. Considering the rules they have to follow, it's pretty darn impressive. Okay, now we're going to wait before we hang that on there. Okay, we'll go ahead and, so that we don't forget, press our jet extenders back on. They just press right on like that. You want that slot turned just like so. They don't fit super tight, but once they go in, they can't really go in there once everything's together. Go anywhere is what I meant to say. Okay, here's our new gasket. Lube it up a little bit. Really hope this fixes it. But like I said before, once we get our truck together and before I go racing, I will order a whole new rebuild kit. Go completely through this carburetor, clean it up right. I mean, I don't have any carburetor cleaner or anything, so this is just kind of a quick repair so we can start this thing up occasionally. And the reason it's probably leaking is because I haven't been starting it like I should, which I haven't had the batteries in it. I stole the batteries out of it to get the Power Stroke running. And the batteries that used to be in the Power Stroke finally went dead, so yeah. Okay, back this camera up a little bit, kind of getting out of the screen. Go ahead and let that gas hit the floor. I may go ahead and, so I can do that, I may go ahead and replace the needle and seat gasket if I have one. I'm pretty sure I do. I don't think there's leaking out of that, so I can do that on the car, no problem. Okay, so one thing that's easy to forget is make sure that's above your accelerator pump arm. something that's really easy to forget. Actually, you go to put that bow on, and then after you get it all together, you realize that this arm is way up in here. It's easy to do. And then you just kind of torque them evenly. You gotta be careful because these carburetor bodies, the threads are in the carburetor body, and these things are made out of like a pot metal, so you don't want to over torque them. Let's hope this does it though. Okay, we're ready to put it on the car now. And on this, that's what I like about a race car, especially if one you built yourself and you know how you do certain things and all that. You can build it to where it's easy to work on, and you'll see how quick this carburetor comes on and off. I mean, these everyday drivers, I mean, even older ones sometimes. Older ones are better than newer ones as far as being easy to work on, but any everyday driver, I mean, it's just sometimes it's not a very good experience to have to tear one apart. You got to take all that crap out of the way. This one's got nothing in the way. And since you pretty much build your own, even if you don't build the entire car, if you have a lot of aftermarket stuff in your engine compartment, you can pretty much alter everything in the way you want to make it easy to work on. Let's not forget this vacuum line. It's easy to forget. I probably have the only race car that runs low sixes that has a vacuum that has the vacuum modulator hooked up. There might be one out there, but I don't know. There's a lot of street cars out there with a lot of nitrous on them nowadays that run in the sixes. This one's old school though. Sixes, I mean, well, there's a lot of streetable cars that run in the fives. It's crazy. All those cars, if you watch them, the small tire cars running the fives, they're dangerous. Take my hat off them guys for having the guts to drive them, but I don't know. Small tire cars that run in the fives and even low sixes can be very scary to drive. If you ever stood at the end of the track and watched one come towards you at the top end of the track, you see how unstable they are, and you can imagine what it's like to be inside of them trying at whatever mile per hour they go, 130 to 150. Actually, this one has been 620s and it's around 109 mile per hour when it runs that quick. It won't do it now. I have too much weight in the car. I weighted it down because anything quicker than 639, you have to have a 3-layer suit, get your cage certified. My cage should pass. I would have to add 1 bar to the bottom. And you got to get a license, go through a health exam every so often, renew it, which is not cheap. So I slowed my car to down to run in the 40s. Actually, if you look on the window, it's got a 636 on it now. Let's see, that thing's not wanting to line up. Give it a little lubrication on it. The thing usually lines up pretty easy. Thing's been sitting so long, nothing wants to work right. Wow. Hang on, I gotta do something with that. Okay, I just paused the camera for a little bit. I didn't know how long it was going to take me to fool with that thing, but we got it. See, still gas in the front bowl. Put my return spring on. Make sure all that works. Now, gonna go hit the pump and see what happens. I guess it wasn't too stubborn considering how long it sat. We got a leak fixed, looks like. Okay, as you can see, we got it running, and I just want to show you some of the problems I had. I had to put another fuel bowl on it. I don't know how well you can see this, but that is the fuel inlet, of course, and this fitting right here goes into it, and that bowl is off the rear actually, and after I put it all together it leaked even worse, and I ended up taking it back off, and I noticed that it messed up my new ring gasket there again. See how bent up it is just from screwing it in there. There's some boogered up threads and they didn't want to screw all the way in, but something's wrong with that surface there and it's causing it to do that. Kind of weird that it'd been that way all along, and all of a sudden today, after I wanted to start it, after it's been sitting so long, it decided to cause some trouble. But after I got that going, it still dripped just a little bit. You can see it running off of here, but it was the gasket that we didn't have, I'm pretty sure. That's what was leaking. I went ahead and started it up anyway, because it was a very slow leak. And after it got to running, it stopped. I kind of figured that. That's something I probably should have done that to begin with instead of taking it apart. But anyway, we put another fuel bowl on it, and it's not the correct bowl for this carburetor, I guess, because I had to swap my float and everything. Original float out of this carburetor, which came out of this bowl, of course, into that bowl. And if you set your float adjustment all the way down and remove the sight plugs, the gas should just barely trickle out of that hole. If you take this sight plug hole out, or that sight plug screw out, gas should just barely trickle out the bottom of it, and it's pouring out, and I have it adjusted as far down as it will go. So, and then you don't see it looks good, and I dropped that again, but that's okay. See all that gas pouring out. It's okay, the battery is shut off, but yeah, and I got that right here is how you adjust these. You loosen this screw and put a wrench on that nut, and if you turn it down to adjust your float level lower, and of course you turn the nut up, adjust your float level higher. I'm not going to take that off and show you right now. I'm kind of holding the camera right now anyway, but just want to explain that. So anyway, I think I'll go ahead and order a carburetor kit for this thing and find the correct bowl for it. I'll try to repair mine. We'll see. But at least I got it to where I can start it. And that's kind of why I didn't want to idle, which has always been a little stubborn to idle until it warms up, but it did not want to idle. And you notice I had to idle it up, and that's because that whole float level was extremely high on it. But at least we got it started, and we know everything's still good with the engine. And I was a little concerned about it, but before I actually started up on video, I cranked it and tried to get it to fire. And it sounded tight, but I'm pretty sure it's because of me fooling with the carburetor, and there's a lot of gas down in the cylinders. Kind of concerned me since it's been setting. Maybe the rings kind of a little stuck in the cylinders or something, but I don't think that was the case because I cranked it over before I tried to fire and it cranked over okay. I think we got that on video. Anyway, I'm going to clean up my mess and get back to what this video was supposed to be about, moving some stuff around. My plan was to ride the brake so I wouldn't slam into the cabinet like I did, but I forgot. This brake don't work. Oh well, it worked. I really hate to hit my cabinets like that, but I don't think I hurt anything. Oh well, live and learn, I guess. Okay, I think we got everything in here. Almost. So I'm gonna pile my fenders. Oh, yeah, see, I gotta remove my ball hitch. It's no big deal. Do that, and I'm going to pile my fenders on top of that, and it'll be all gotta do. Alright, as you can see, we got a little more room in here now. It's going to be much better. Blech, excuse me, much better. I really got to quit stuttering on my videos. Anyway, yeah, we'll hang this other door up. Maybe up here, right about here, and when we get those ready, hopefully we'll get these fenders in here. Yeah, we'll have room for all that stuff in here. I can set me some horses right here and lay that hood on top of it, work on it, stuff like that. But yeah, I did not plan to do all that work to that carburetor today. It was kind of a act of impulse to do a cold start on a 64. Yeah, you know how that goes, but well, at least we got her cranked over and fired up. Carburetor's not right, but we'll go ahead and order a kit and find the correct bowl for it, or like I said, try to repair mine. I think they make tats for those inlet threads. I'll look for that. Maybe we can save that one and get this thing to where we can fire it up every now and then. Yeah, we got everything stuffed in here for now, and then we can go back to work on the truck. Got the charger. Battery's almost all the way up. Actually starting it and getting it running, charged up quicker than that charger will. It's got a 100 amp alternator on it. But yeah, it looks like everything's going to fit. Hopefully I'll have these off top of the four-wheeler soon. Tailgate to the truck's right there. Yeah, you know, at least we got to enjoy some warm weather and tinker around with the old race car. I really miss fooling with that thing. Which I'd rather race it than work on it, but if I was to drive it every now and then, it wouldn't be developing leaks like it. So that's all this video. I think it turned out a lot longer than I planned for it to be. Guess I'll go in and grab something to eat and piece together another video. Upload it through the middle of this week sometime, I guess. Power Stroke Project Part 46 is uploading as we speak right now. I started uploading it this morning. Okay, well, was going to do a cold start on the tractor, but I've had enough for today. Thanks for watching, and thanks for subscribing. Hang in there, we're going to get some more work done.